You are not going to be able to even get me. There you go. What's up, agents? Zero here. Welcome back to another episode of the Survival Series. This is episode 74. If you remember, last time we were over by the wood farm all the way over in that direction because apparently there was an ocean out there, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and put together a little boat dock. And in this episode, well, I have a project in mind that, even though some of the things that have happened in between episodes happened, I'm still going to work on that project anyway. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and mention right now is that I actually made this nether materials chest because the majority of the materials that I had were in this section right here, taking up the majority of the chest, and I wanted to be able to use that chest for other things, so I made this nether materials chest. Obviously, it's not, well, it's not organized, so I'm going to be doing that at some point in the future. For right now, I'm just happy that I have a separate chest specifically for nether materials, and if I remember correctly, I did not move, I did not move my netherrack over, so I'm going to do that a little bit later. So the next thing that I actually ended up doing in between episodes is I actually upgraded my sword. So if you take a look, let me go ahead and show you the enchantments on it. Now, this is pretty much the same sword, with the exception that it's now looting 3 instead of looting 2. And yes, I realize it says a number instead of Roman numerals. I actually found a resource pack recently that changes it from Roman numerals to actual numbers. It's not that I cannot read Roman numerals, I can read them just fine. I just like the look of normal numbers a little bit better. That's why I installed it. And I actually got some extra ender pearls. I got 3 ender pearls from an enderman. If you guys recall, I've been having a lot of trouble getting ender pearls from endermen, and so now I actually have enough to be able to go to the end, which is really nice because that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Now, as far as this episode is concerned, before I actually get started with this project for this episode, can I sleep? No. Okay, I know that it's getting dark at this point. I can tell by my clock in my hotbar. But the project that I want to work on is actually going to be over here because I want to try to put something together that should make this spot a little more usable. And I'll go ahead and show you what this spot is. I was debating on whether or not to go ahead and do that first or go ahead and go to sleep because I have a bed set up. So down here, if we come under here, this is a project I worked on a long time ago, but for whatever reason it is not working. I'm not entirely sure why. This is supposed to be my slime farm. Now, there's probably a reason why this thing doesn't work. It could be because the game updated and this is no longer a slime truck. It could be because I'm not actually using it in the way that would actually be able to get slimes to spawn in the first place. And hello, zombie, I see you coming near me. You are not going to be able to even get me. There you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little bit of an AFK building specifically for the slime farm and see if that actually ends up changing anything. Whether or not it's going to do that is a completely another question. I don't know if it's going to fix anything, but I'm building this just to see if it does. So in this chest, I don't really have too many materials, just 3 stacks of oak logs because I didn't actually do any setting up as far as like crafting individual materials. So I'm gonna have to do all this like by hand, obviously. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn 1 stack of wood into planks so I can actually use them. So here's my reasoning as to why I'm building this. So I got online and looked up exactly what the parameters are to get slimes to spawn in slime chunks. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. If this does not end up working, I do in fact have a swamp all the way over there that I could actually end up using, even though slimes don't spawn very frequently over there, as far as I know, and I see you over there, Mr. Skeleton. I do not want you to be a problem. There we go. So, I looked it up, and apparently in order for slimes to spawn in slime chunks, first off, they have to be at a pretty high light level, I'm pretty sure, or it might have been just pretty much any light level, I'm not entirely sure, but I have it lit up so that slimes are the only thing getting spawned down there. They have to spawn on transparent blocks, which the entire floor is made out of slabs, and it's the entire 16 by 16 chunk, so I'm not entirely sure what's causing the slimes not to spawn in the first place. However, one thing I did look up is that they cannot spawn if you're directly there. They can only spawn if you're like 24 or some odd blocks away from where they're supposed to spawn, and this right here, where the crafting table is right now, this is 25 blocks away from where I dropped down into the slime farm. So this far out is at least far enough for me to be able to put this together. And I know I've been talking a lot about this project. I haven't really been doing anything about it, but yeah, I figured I'd let you guys know why I've decided I'm doing this. This is just going to be a simple AFK building, and something I probably could do. This is something I don't do very often in this world for reasons even I don't understand, is actually make use of staircases in my builds, because I do technically have stairs in my house, that much is a given, but what I mean is like using them in like decorative sets of builds, like for roofs and stuff. So I've not used that at all for some reason that even I just mentioned don't even understand. So I'm going to make a few of these, and I think I should be fine with making maybe this many. That should be fine, yeah. Alright, so this is how it's going to be, and I think this is just going to be like a 5 wide building, something like that. And so the door is actually going to go right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. So let's go ahead and do this. This is obviously where I just said the door is going to go. And the torch, yeah, the torch is floating right there. Okay. I'm really hoping this project ends up fixing my slime problem, because I'm not exactly sure what's causing them not to spawn in the first place, although I have a few good ideas, as I've already mentioned. Alright, so here's obviously where I said it's going to end up being, and I'm just going to make this like 5 by 5 on the inside is all I'm going to do. It's literally all it's going to be on the inside is 5 by 5. And I want to place one there. There we go. Now this project is probably going to only take me a short amount of time. It seems like most of these projects that I've been working on in the past, or at least recently in the past, have ended up taking me only a short amount of time to put together. And I'm not going to say I'm going to complain. It just means I have less work that I need to do. And you know, I probably should go ahead and get out my axe. That would probably be smart. It's not that I'm complaining that these projects are taking as little time as they are. It's that I don't, for whatever reason, don't seem to plan out these episodes very well for some reason. So I end up using a lot less time in order to make these episodes than it seems that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's just roll with it anyway. So, as you'd probably expect, I'm making some fence posts to use as windows, and all things considered, I'm probably making too many now that I'm looking at it. I probably only need, why is that not working? I probably only need about maybe that many. Yeah, it's probably about right. I'm going to do this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put them like sparingly, because obviously I don't have too many. And then, let's see, where are... Okay, so there's my logs. So let's build this up. 4, that's not where I wanted to put that. Right, let's go ahead and build up 4, hopefully on the right block this time. There we go, that worked. And... come on. There we go. Seems like they updated controllers in such a way that makes it difficult to build upwards. And you know what? I'm going to make one more set of fence posts. There we go. So let's go ahead and get out my planks. I'm obviously going to run out of planks. That's fine. So this is just going to be like a very simple building. I'm going to be basically like AFKing here, and that's like pretty much all I'm going to be using this building for, is like to AFK. That's literally all I'm going to be doing here. And you know what, actually I'm going to let this be a curved slope, because it's, as I mentioned, it's something I don't do very often in this world, like almost never. So I'm going to build up like this. And you know what, at this point I probably should edit a lot of this stuff out, because I know I've been just kind of rambling on, like nothing interesting has happened. I mean, I know I'm building, so I'm gonna get to work on this, edit this part out, even though I probably should have been editing more out than I have been. I'll be right back. And I just realized that is one too high. It's not really a huge problem to fix. Okay, so I've made a lot of progress at this point. I'm just now going to be capping off the roof, which is just going to be some slabs. And I've went for a pretty basic design, as I already mentioned. I didn't want to go anything too crazy. So this is what I have as of right now. As I just mentioned, I'm putting in these slabs as the roof right now. And it's actually not too complicated to understand, as I probably don't need to be repeating myself over and over. You guys are probably getting annoyed with that, at least. So yeah, this is pretty much gonna be it for the actual build itself once I get done with these slabs. And I do have a few slabs out the front that I need to put in, but other than that, project's pretty much done. I knew it wasn't going to take too long, all things considered, but it's pretty much done at this point. So let me go ahead and put in these last few slabs. And this is literally all I had in mind for this. Now I think what I could possibly do is maybe put in a slab right here and a slab right here, and do the same thing on either side. So it looks a little bit rounded, at least. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to accomplish. I think you guys got that already. And I'd say that looks fairly good. I know it looks a little bit kind of cut off at the top, but I'm at least happy with how it turned out in the end. So this project is at least done at this point. So now all we really need to do is kind of make the inside usable. So I'm just going to place in a few torches on the inside. And then I also want to go ahead and get out my bed. I'm going to get out a crafting table. I don't necessarily know whether or not I'm going to end up putting a chest in here. I don't expect to be in here very often. Just mainly like every once in a while to just, you know, AFK for some slime balls. But that is pretty much all this completely done. So I'm effectively done with this area at this point. So that's actually not too bad of a place. Although maybe I could use maybe a couple extra fence posts for windows. I can worry about that like maybe another time. Now, something I definitely want to be able to get done is make an ender chest, because now that I have at least enough ender pearls to go to the end, I at least have enough for that. I have enough in order to do more than that at this point. And I don't know whether or not I actually have obsidian in any of my chests. I have 2 obsidian, that is it. Do I have any in any of my other chests? It does not appear that way. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I can get obsidian off camera. I mean, I know it's like one of the hardest materials to get. Obviously, you need diamond tools in order to get it, but I'm pretty good on that. So, oh my gosh, my chicken farm is actually doing really good. So, the last time you probably saw this, I actually had only 1 chicken here. I got a few more extra eggs, so I have a few more chickens in there, and it seems to be doing fairly well, all things considered. So, I think you guys probably know what time it is at this point in the episode. If I'm doing a short episode on a short project, well, all things considered, the episodes aren't entirely short, but you at least get the idea. You guys probably have a good idea as to what I'm about to do. So, I'm going to go ahead and go over there, and we're going to end the episode off by, well, you probably guessed it. Actually, yeah, we are actually going to do some fishing, but something I do want to check before we go over there. We technically had the mushroom farm loaded during this project, so I want to know, did any of these mushrooms grow? And it does sometimes take a while to find out whether or not any, okay, so it looks like we got maybe 1 mushroom that's not too horribly bad. Okay, so not a lot of activity on the mushroom farm. I kind of expected that. So, let's go ahead and head over to the fishing hut, and we're going to do the last, like, couple minutes of this episode over there. I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time there, obviously, because some of you, I'm pretty sure, are not fans of fishing. I'm pretty sure of that much. However, as most of you already know, that is something that I do enjoy a lot, so I'm going to do the favor to those who aren't as fond of fishing as I am and only do like a few minutes of it. It's also getting dark. I probably ought to go ahead and go to sleep once I get in there. And one thing I probably should do while I'm over here is go ahead and check up on the Nether Wart farm. It seems like majority of them are all growing. It looks like at least one of them hasn't made any progress whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure what's causing that. So let's go ahead and sleep the night off. And then I'm going to go, obviously, as I'm obviously here, so I'm going to do the last couple of minutes of just fishing and see what kind of stuff we can get. I mean, the past couple times I've done this, the only real things that I've actually really gotten out of it was actually just fish, which that's fairly obvious for fishing. But one thing I've really been wanting, I've been mentioning this a couple times before, is a feather falling book, because I don't have feather falling on my boots. That would actually be really beneficial. If it doesn't come through, I suppose what I could do is go over to the skeleton farm and do a little bit of enchanting and hopefully be able to get feather falling through the enchantment table. I'm obviously going to need to be able to get some levels. That's why I said I was going to go over to the skeleton farm. So it looks like we got 2 salmon so far. It's actually not too bad. 3 salmon now. That's actually not too bad. Because as you already see in my hotbar, that is technically what I eat on a regular basis. This is probably the most boring part of the video if you're not including the rant that I did while building the AFK slime farm hut. Something I'm going to go ahead and mention is that during the building process, I actually ran into a little bit of an issue with my controller because for whatever reason it decided to disconnect. It didn't take long for it to reconnect. In fact, I didn't actually have to leave the game in order to do it, but for whatever reason it just decided to randomly disconnect while I was working on the project. Not entirely sure what was going on with that, but yeah, it happened. So I think I'm just going to cast out this, and then one more and end up the episode from there. So one more, and let's see what we can get from this. Hopefully an enchanted book like I've been wanting for so long. I mean, I haven't had one for a while. We got Enchanted Bow, not horrible. Let's see what's on. We've got ourselves Flame and Punch. I mean, it's not terribly bad. I mean, if I weren't as far along in this series as I was, I mean, that would be a decent bow, but my bow as of right now, this is what it looks like. So, this thing is pretty much trivial. But other than that, that's actually where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. But more than make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zero Stews. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.